Okay, so these are some absolute value problems, and we're going to talk about how to solve them graphically. And the key to that is understanding that if I ever gave you this, the absolute value of a minus b, what I'm talking about is the distance from a to b on a number line. And hopefully you would know that if I gave you this and said, what is the distance from -3 to 7? Intuitively, you probably could just figure out what it is. But if not, the distance between those is going to be either -3 minus 7, absolute value, which would be 10, or 7 minus a -3, which would be 10, also from the absolute value. So a minus b is always the absolute value, the distance between the absolute value of the distance between 2 points. So here's what we do. We first solve an inequality, our absolute value problem for the absolute value. So we get the absolute value of 3x minus 8 equals 12. Then we use a simple fact about absolute values, and that fact is that if you have distributive property, so in this case, if we have the absolute value of 3x minus 8, that is the same as 3 times the absolute value of x minus 8/3. You can factor out a 3 or factor out any number that you know that's positive from an absolute value. And that's because of this property, which is the absolute value of a times b equals the absolute value of a times the absolute value of b. And so in our case, x minus 8/3 is b, 3 is a, the absolute value of 3 is 3, and so we can do this. So we factor out the 3 to get this. We divide through by 3 to get this, and now we can find out the graphical solution. And the graphical solution is the distance between x, what we want to know, and now notice, minus here. So if I do -8/3, that means I'm talking about the point 8/3 on the number line. So the distance between x and 8/3, the distance between x and 8/3 is 4. So if you wanted to actually calculate what that is, you'd put 8/3, you would add 4, which would give you 6 2/3, or you would subtract 4, which would give you -1 1/3. But what we're looking for, what I want you to be able to do is write out this statement, which is the distance between x and 8/3 is 4. Those are the solutions to this inequality. Now, if it's in this equation, absolute value equation. If it's an inequality like this problem, then your distance between the two things is going to be greater than c. Now you might say, well, why is a c in there? And that's because we are going to do this just in a general case. The first thing we're going to do on this one is we're going to factor out the 3a. So we're going to take the 3a out, and we're going to get the absolute value of 3a. One of the things that's going to be true on this problem is that a must be positive for us to do it the way we're going to do this. So a is a positive number. I didn't write that on here. And so we're going to get 3a out. And if we factor 3a out, we need an x to get 3ax. But to get b, we're going to have to do b over 3a. Because 3a times b over 3a is going to give you b. So that's how we factor out the 3a. And that's still greater than or equal to c. Divide through by the 3a, and you get the absolute value of x plus b over 3a is greater than or equal to c over 3a. Remember, I said a is positive, so we can divide by it and not have to worry about it changing the inequality. Now, how does this read? Well, it reads the distance between x and, well, b over 3a is positive, assuming that it doesn't matter what b is. But you remember, the distance is calculated using a subtraction sign, and so this is going to be the distance between x and negative b over 3a is greater than or equal to c over 3a. And that's how you interpret this problem graphically. The distance between x, what we're trying to find, and negative b over 3a is everything that's greater than or equal to ca away from that. And so you can see this on a number line if you go through and you graphic on a number line. But what we're looking to do is be able to come up with that statement and understand these problems graphically.